For many years online, I've been seeing people go and spend hundreds of dollars to attend these different anime conventions within their area and sometimes out of state. And I decided I was going to go to Galaxycon 2026 to answer this question of what is it that makes anime conventions very special. So my convention journey started early on the Wednesday instead of the Friday because I decided I wanted to get some dinner and then pick up my ticket early on the Wednesday so that I wouldn't have to wait in long lines during the weekend. Because I decided because of school to get the 3-day pass instead of the 4-day pass. Hi, so today is technically my first day at GalaxyCon. Um, it did went out on me on Thursday, but I'm only going on Friday because I had school and classes and stuff like that. So I just couldn't go on Thursday feasibly. So I'm gonna go on Friday. My main goals for today is to do a lot of shopping. As you can see here, my face is not in the frame because I'm not cosplaying today. I am wearing my 11 Deep Space shirt that I made myself by Bedazzling, but I'm not going to be wearing any particular cosplay. I just want to do some shopping, preferably buy the high ticket items first because I do have to change my big bills into smaller bills. And then maybe I might get the poster signed by Reze's voice actor, but I'm not kind of hoping to do it tomorrow because I'll be cosplaying Reze tomorrow. But if the line is really empty today, I might be tempted and I might do it. And that's one of the high ticket items I'll be getting as well, which is the autograph. So let's see what happens. And I'm just going to walk down to the convention center. So, like I mentioned before, I wanted to spend this day doing a lot of shopping. I really wanted to get a lot of high ticket items, so like figures and potentially the autograph signature from the voice actor of Reze. And the convention center wasn't too crowded. It was a Friday, it was pretty chill. And I did, in fact, get my signature, as you can see here, me recording myself getting the signature. And then I went to look to see what panels were available this day, and I realized there was two panels back to back about cosplaying that I really wanted to attend. One about cosplaying with companies, and then another one about cosplay and diversity. Both sound super interesting to me, so I rushed into the room as one does, and I waited for these two panels to start. And all the people who presented today were amazing, and I had a good time. Hello, so this is day 2 of my anime convention journey. Today I decided to cosplay because I don't have school, I don't have work or lab, so I'm cosplaying Reze today. I didn't get to show what I got yesterday. I'm gonna do a big like overview at the end of all the stuff I got from this convention, but there is two things that I really want to highlight. Um, that I think will be very important, like two things that I got yesterday that I'm really happy about and I'm really excited about. And so let me get those for you. Okay, so the first thing I got as I walked into the convention is this Mau Mau figure. I've been wanting to get this Mau Mau figure for a long, long time. I've been eyeing her for so long, but she's kind of on the rarer side, and I definitely overpaid for what I got for her at the convention because when she was more available, she was around like $40 retailed. I paid $60 for this Mau Mau, which is a bit much for a price figure, but for a price figure of that quality, I kind of thought it was worth it considering the fact that I was having a hard time finding her online. And then the second thing I got, which I feel like is very fitting considering my cosplay, is the voice actor for Reze was at the convention, so I got this signed print. I told her to do whatever voice line she wanted, and she chose Boom, of course, very iconic and pretty short considering this is a small poster. And the voice actor, she was very friendly, she was very nice. I was going to go to her today in the Reze cosplay to get it signed, but I realized that Saturday is going to be a very busy day. There's going to be a lot of people, the lines are going to be long, and of course, she's like talking to each person that's coming to get a signature. I'm trying to be friendly with them. So I figured the line will be too long and kind of unbearable if I went today, especially in a wig and a costume. So that's kind of why I decided to do it yesterday when I wasn't in cosplay. I also thought I could save a little money because if I was in cosplay, I would have been tempted to get like a table selfie, which was extra money. So I was like, if I go in regular clothes, I'm not going to be tempted. So that was it. The convention was really good. I went to two panels. I went to one that's about cosplaying in like kind of more professional setting. I've never thought about doing cosplay in like a professional setting. I always thought of it as like a silly hobby for me to do outside of my usual school and work. I don't really want to make this a career of any means, but I figured it would be nice to know like how industry sees cosplayers because if I want to do this as like a part-time thing, then that can also be an option for me. And then I also went to this beautiful panel about cosplay and diversity. I felt like that was very important to attend, even though it was at the end of the day and I was really tired because as a black woman who's cosplaying, I feel like it's always important to look at diversity in cosplaying because we do have a lot of issues within our cosplay community that comes with um, whether people can cosplay certain characters. There's a lot of people who would make fun of cosplayers because they don't look exactly like the character. And instead of like just seeing cosplay as like a fun thing, like a fun hobby for everybody to do. So I felt like that was kind of an important panel for me to go to. So I went to that. But today I'm going to focus more on like creating content. I want to make at least one cosplay friend in the area because I feel like it'll be kind of cool to have somebody who's kind of interested in the same things I'm interested in. And then I also want to go to the Chainsaw Man cosplay meetup later in the evening. Well, not in the evening, in the early afternoon, like 2-ish. So those are the type of things I want to do. I also want to go in the game room for a little bit more. I went a little bit yesterday, but I didn't really do games. I just looked around. So hopefully I can actually like play some games today. All right, I'm just about ready to go. I have all my stuff packed. I'm very nervous because this will be my first time walking out in cosplay in the general public by myself. Um, I'm have to commute over to the convention center, so hopefully it's not too crazy. I don't think it will be because it's very early in the morning, and I don't think a lot of regular non-convention goers will be out just because like there's no work today. I feel like yesterday you're more likely to see other people outside of the people going to the convention, so hopefully that's a good sign. I'm just nervous that I'm gonna walk out my apartment, go on the elevator, and some poor old lady is gonna look at me and it's like, what is this girl doing? And honestly, I would not blame her. So, wish me luck. Hopefully everything goes well and I get to the convention center safely, which is my biggest priority. So yeah, unfortunately, I had to commute to the convention by myself, but it wasn't as awkward. There was nobody in my apartment, and for the most part, the streets were kind of empty. So this is me finally getting into the convention. I decided to do some pictures and some videos before more people come because I didn't really want to disturb anybody. And then I went out to the balcony because there's like a secret balcony where you could go out and like look at people from above. So I did a little people watching while I looked at my cosplay and took some more photos up on the balcony. And then I did some figure shopping because you guys know I love my anime figures, and I decided to send some pictures to my friends who also love anime and anime figures. And then I saw this cool One Piece statue that they had, which was really cool. And then I went over to the Hilton, which is one of the hotels that were hosting the convention, to do a speed friending event. I didn't get any videos of it, but it was a good time and I did meet some friends and we exchanged socials. And then I walked around the vendor hall again. I tried not to buy anything this day, but I did end up getting a few small things just because I couldn't help myself when I saw something that I really liked. But the convention on Saturday was super crowded and I was so overstimulated after a while, so I had to just sit down and rest. So I decided to drink my water, stay hydrated, guys. Yeah, the lunch line was just super crowded, and the convention was starting to get a bit warm because there was a lot of people that were there. So I decided to just take a break and get lunch after the Chainsaw Man meetup. And then I went outside of the convention, like right outside, to take some more photos. And then I went to the Chainsaw Man meetup, which was super fun and super cool. And I had a good time, and I met a lot of people who cosplay different characters from Chainsaw Man, and I was super excited about that. And then I finally was able to get into the lunch line and get some hot dogs and some fries, nothing crazy. And then I finally went and sat in another panel just so that I can calm down and relax. And this panel was actually interesting because they were teaching you how to do like self shoots in your own home and cosplay whenever you don't have a photographer on hand, which I do a lot, very often actually. So this was the perfect panel for me. And then after that long day, I decided it was finally time to go home and relax and de-stress. Hello, so I'm back from day 2 of Galaxycon. I think my makeup held up pretty nice. It does look a bit greasy because I was walking up and down today and it was kind of warm inside the convention center. I forgot to bring my little fan. But overall, it was a pretty crowded experience. I remember at one point at around 12, like I could barely walk around in the exhibit hall. I couldn't even get food because it was just so crowded. Outside of that, I think today was a very successful day. I exchanged contact information with some cosplayers from the area. So hopefully that means I might be able to make some more cosplay friends. I also went to the Chainsaw Man meetup, which was super fun. I had such a good time seeing all the other Chainsaw Man cosplayers. My Reze cosplay was a hit. A lot of people liked this version of her outfit, and I really like that the fact that like different Reze cosplayers from her different forms will compliment me, or we would just give each other like the nod of approval when we walk past each other in the convention center. So that was super fun. I do have one item that I got for today. I didn't do a lot of shopping today because I kind of went a little crazy yesterday. So I just kind of wanted it to be a chill day, like mostly like cosplay related things. But I did end up getting one figure because this was another figure that I had on my wish list for so long. This is why these anime conventions are very deadly to my wallet, because I would see these figures online for like a bit expensive and I would just not buy them, and then I would see them at the anime convention for like a similar price or even marked up a little more, and I'm like, I need it now because it's like in my face and I see it right now. But Shinobu, my girl, rest in peace, my love. I love Shinobu. She was my favorite character from Demon Slayer. And my hope is one day make a Shinobu shrine with all the different Shinobu figures and stuff. But I saw this figure for not a horrible price. Like it was going around the same price I seen it online. So I was like, why not? You know, kind of like that kind of mentality. But I'm really happy I have this figure because it was a figure I've been looking forward to getting for a while now. And I think I had an overall successful time. Like people liked my cosplay. It was just really good to be surrounded with different nerds and different fans of different fandoms. And I did went to one panel that taught me how to do like photography for cosplay in like by yourself, which is what I do a lot in on my cosplay channel. So I definitely want to do more like professional photography, but on my own in my house because that's where I'm most comfortable cosplaying. So that was a really important panel, and she gave so much advice about editing, using your phone, posting on social media, and it's just been overall a successful panel. I wanted to go to more panels, but they were kind of later in the day, and I was really tired, guys. Like, I'm not used to being in cosplay a long time, and I didn't even have on contacts, and I still felt a little dragged down after a while. So I'm going to just rest for the evening, and I'll see you guys on day three. Hello, so this is day three, the final day of Galaxycon. This is the outfit I'm going to be wearing. I'm wearing a female version of Yuta. I'm really excited because I did book a 15-minute cosplay shoot for about $20 with somebody at the convention. So I'm really excited to put this on and maybe get some professional photos done. I am super tired, but I do have to do a couple of chores because I do have school this week, tomorrow, in fact. So I'm going to get some chores done, maybe relax for a little bit, and then I'm going to start my makeup and put on my costume, and then I'll get back to you guys. Hello, so this is the third and final day of the anime convention. I am dressed as Yuta Okotsuku from Jujutsu Kaisen, a female version. I'm wearing a skirt. Um, I want to say like GalaxyCon has been so fun. It's been so good to meet a bunch of different nerds from all ages, ethnicities, racial backgrounds, and just come together for this one giant nerdy event. I've had so much fun. It's been so long since I've been surrounded with so many people who are interested in similar things that I am, and overall it has been just a good experience. Today is going to be a bit of a chill day, so I'm supposed to be getting some photos taken in my cosplay at around 11 today. And then after that, I'm probably going to go to the game room, maybe film some content and some vlog stuff so that I can have some extra shots in the vlog. I'm also going to wait until 4 before I leave because there's going to be a Jujutsu Kaisen meetup from 4 to 4:30, and I want to go there and represent my boy Yuta. And but that's pretty much it. Today is supposed to be a chill day. If I see a panel that I like, I might go and listen to it. But I just want to kind of, kind of de-stress as the last day of the convention, especially considering the fact I have school tomorrow. I don't want to do too much things. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing any shopping today. We'll see. I might buy some last minute things, but I'm kind of already over my budget that I had prepared for this convention. So I'm kind of hesitant to buy anything above my budget. But if I see anything I really, really want, then I might pick it up. A big might, but we'll see what happens. So yeah. So as usual, I commuted to the convention. Again, it wasn't too crazy. The streets were pretty empty, so I didn't feel super duper uncomfortable in my costume. I went into the game room first thing in the morning because I wanted to do some shots in the game room and I didn't want to disturb anybody. So I just walked around for a bit. There was a lot of things like Just Dance, a bunch of PCs, some driving simulations, some fighter game sections, and of course the claw machines, which is the one thing you need money for that I decided to do. I really wanted the Hatsune Miku Christmas plushie that was in there, but for some reason she would not budge at all. And I tried like 3, 4 times and I spent like maybe $4 or $5 and I could not get her. So after a while I decided to quit and I decided to go back to the vendor hall, which was my biggest mistake because I ended up seeing a bunch of figures that I really wanted and I spent way over my budget. So I'm not really proud of that. But then it was time for my photo shoot and I had such fun time doing this photo shoot. First of all, the photographer was super duper nice. Second of all, I felt like such a main character because as I was taking photos, everybody would be like, "Yeah, it's Yuta, you Yuta," and I would be like, "Yeah, yeah," and they were like, "Your awesome, your cosplay is wonderful," and I would be so excited. There's even a female police officer that was kind of giving us tips on how to like do our photos, and she was super sweet and super nice about it. I guess she was hired to provide security for the convention, which is fair because it's a lot of people. But overall, it was such a good opportunity. And for 15 minutes for $20 wasn't bad. Like I thought we would only do like 4 or 5 poses, and we ended up doing so many poses. Like I thinking about 10 poses that we got to do, which is a lot considering the fact that it was only 15 minutes and it was only $20. And I felt like this was a good gateway into professional cosplay photos because I really wanted to try it, but I didn't think I would have the time or the experience to do it because I'm not really a super photogenic person, and it's really different taking pictures of yourself compared to like other people taking pictures of you. But my photographer was so nice, even gave me some references to do. And then after that, I attended a couple of panels. This first panel I attended was like creativity and making your own cosplays, and then I had some lunch. I had these pretzels and I had a corn dog, which again is not really the healthiest food, but I mean that's what the convention had, so I just ate it. And then finally, I did some more poses on the balcony by myself because I wanted to go back to this balcony, my favorite spot. And then I went back to the vendor ball, my biggest mistake of this entire convention. I bought so many things, and this is me looking sad with my big bag of stuff because I had no self control and I just was buying because people were having sales, and I was just super excited. And I saw 2 figures that I really liked, and yeah, I overspent. And then I decided to sit around and drink some water, hydrate myself, kind of just relax because I was feeling a bit overstimulated once again. And then finally, I went to another convention panel, which is talking about cosplay and makeup. And these convention panelists were really good. Like, these cosplayers are like super cool and they were super friendly and they answered all of our questions. And then finally, after that, I decided to wait for the Jujutsu Kaisen shoot at the cosplay meetup section. And I had a fun time at the Jujutsu Kaisen photo shoot, and everybody will look so amazing and so cool. All right, so I'm back from my final day at Galaxycon. It was such an amazing experience. Honestly, this was my first time going to a 3-day anime convention, and I had a wonderful time and I met so many amazing people. I think what I really loved about Galaxycon is how friendly everybody was, and just seeing so many different people from so many different backgrounds celebrating nerd culture, and it just made me feel so warm and fuzzy on the inside. For my final, I guess, my final highlight for my purchases today, I did buy a couple of things. I'm not proud of myself. I went over my budget, but there were some things that I really liked and I knew I wasn't going to get on my own without it being in a big convention. So I caved and I bought some things, but I'm going to show you 2 things I really like and then we're going to get into like a big haul with everything I got for the weekend. Okay, so the first thing I got, I was haggled by a person at a booth. This My Dress Up Darling Black Lobidia figure. This was a figure I've been wanting for so long. This is what's so dangerous about anime conventions is because these figures I've seen online here and there, but they're pretty scarce and I haven't found like a good price for them, which is why I haven't purchased them. But at the anime convention, they're just in front where for all to see. So because of that, I get tempted. What really happened was that the guy originally wanted me to pay $50 for this, and I wasn't doing it. It was the last day, had my last like $100 left for this convention, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that, and I left. I didn't say that, but I said, oh, no, thank you, and I left. And he was like, well, what price were you expecting? And I said 40, and he was like, we can do 45. And so me not being like super confrontational and really wanting this figure, I was like, fine. Okay, so we got her. And then finally, I got these amazing prints. I'm just going to show you one because I want to do the one for all, like the all haul. But one of the prints I got was from this boot that was selling a lot of like sus schoonery body pillows of women and men, surprisingly. And so I was just going to look past it because I'm not really in the business for body pillows. If that's your thing, you do you. I'm not really a body pillow type of girl. So as I was leaving the boot, I saw in the corner of his boot, he had these amazing Zenless Zone Zero prints. And I've been looking for Zenless Zone Zero prints since Friday. And the only ones that I've seen were like of Nicole and Ambi, which I didn't mind, but I really wanted one of Miyabi and even Ye Guang if I could. This was the only boot that I saw that had those type of prints. I'm gonna highlight the Miyabi one right now, but I did get a Ye Guang one, and I'll put that in the final haul. This is Miyabi. I love her so much. You guys know I love Miyabi. You can see right here from my microphone. This print is gorgeous. Love this print so much. I can't believe he was hiding these prints in the corner and was highlighting his body pillows. Anyways, so that's the highlight for my day tree. I think I'm gonna do an outro and then I will do like a separate video of me like showing off what I bought. But this is the final day. Unfortunately, I have to go back and be a normal person. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little vlog and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Bye.